Roger even dared to scold Isaac at this time. Isn't this looking for death? After Roger was slapped with this slap, he realized that he had caused a catastrophe. Apart from anything else, he immediately knelt in front of Isaac in fear, kowtowed and begged for mercy. I'm sorry, President Isaac. I was impulsive, damn it. After speaking, he snapped his big mouth back and forth. Isaac went up and kicked him in the chest. After kicking him down, he went up and stepped on his face, and said coldly, Big boy, I have offended the Wade family. Believe it or not, I made your Wu family extinct. Roger's face was swollen just now, and now Isaac stepped on his face. He couldn't speak clearly, but he could only insist on saying, Isaac, I'm really wrong. You beat me and scolded me. Anyway, please don't be like me. Seeing that his son was beaten like this, Ragnar felt distressed and couldn't help asking, Mr. Isaac, Mr. Charlie, I have my heartfelt respect for you. If you are dissatisfied with us, please tell me. If someone Wu really did something wrong, I am willing to be punished, but you have to make me understand. Mr. Charlie sneered, and said, Your heartfelt respect? You respect me, so let these silly dog bodyguards of your Wu family rush into my Shangri-La lobby. In my Shangri-La lobby, they hurt my Shangri-La people. Then if you don't respect me, will you even call me? Ragnar was struck by lightning. What? His bodyguard actually beat Isaac's men in the lobby of Shangri-La? Which thing with no eyesight did this? Thinking of this, Ragnar's icy eyes fell on Jones, Zijo and the others. Needless to say, he also knows that it must be one of these 5 people who caused the catastrophe. Ragnar was extremely angry, staring at the 5 people kneeling on the ground, and asked coldly, Who did it? Or did the 5 of you do it together? Feeling the killing intent in Ragnar's eyes, Jones Zijo was shocked. He hurriedly said, Mr. Ragnar, it's not us to blame. We have already explained to the security guard at the door and the lobby manager and said we are Wu's people. But they insisted that our manners were disordered and that we were not allowed to come in. I was anxious to return to you, so I broke into the hotel and clashed with them. Hearing this, Ragnar suddenly became angry. He slapped on the face and cursed, It's really a bunch of rubbish. Can Shangri-La also be something you can break through? He kept saying that you should return to life. If you do it again, it is also called life? Give you such a small thing. I couldn't handle it well, and it caused me great trouble. What is the use of raising you? As he said, he immediately said to Isaac, Mr. Isaac. These 5 wastes ran into you, and wanted to kill you. In fact, Ragnar couldn't wait for Isaac to drag these 5 people away and kill them. There are 5 wastes anyway, and leaving them in the world will only waste his own money. Isaac also knew Ragnar's wishful thinking, and said coldly, Ragnar, are you the boss? If you don't help your little brother, you will sell your own people if something happens. Your Wu family's work is really true. Too low level, isn't it? If it's spread out, how do you Wu family still mix? Ragnar was suddenly shocked. What does Isaac mean? He has already handed over all the 5 people who caused trouble for him. He still holds on to him? However, he dared not yell at Isaac, so he could only suppress the soaring anger in his heart, walked to Isaac's body, and apologized. Mr. Isaac, this matter is my fault. I apologize to you. After speaking, he said again, In order to express my apologies, I am willing to spend 10 million for the medical expenses and mental damage expenses of the injured staff. I hope you can forgive the Wu family for this mistake. What do you think? In his opinion, although Isaac is the spokesperson of the Wade family in Orus Hill, after all, he is also the 2nd-generation heir of the Wu family somehow, and he also paid out 10 million as compensation. No matter what, the other party will not be, because this trivial matter will cause conflict and disharmony with the Wu family, right? Unexpectedly, Isaac's face was still cold at this time, and said, Do you think that my dignified Eastcliff Wade family cares about 10 million? According to your statement, I will now let people beat you father and son into a rubbish. And give another 20 million to your father who is far away in Suzhou. After that this matter is over, do you agree? As soon as these words came out, Regnar's expression was so ugly. He never expected that Isik would be so stubborn. The few of his own non-eyed subordinates just beat a lobby manager in a small area. What's the big deal? Moreover, the other party didn't suffer multiple injuries. Isik had to chat with him here for this? With Isaac's tough attitude, if someone else came over, Regnar would have let him be broken into pieces. Throughout Orus Hill, the second-generation heir to the dignified Wu family, when did he suffer such grievances? But having said that, he never dared to offend Isik. After all, he was the spokesperson of the Wade family in Orus Hill. As the second-generation heir of the Wu family, once there is a conflict with Isik, it means that the Wu family is directly provoking the authority of the Wade family. In this way, it will definitely bring great trouble to the whole family. Once Eastcliff asks the guilt, and fights for it, the Wu family is bound to fall into an abyss that cannot be restored. Therefore, he could only endure the anger deep in his heart and did not immediately break out. He was very aware of the current affairs and smiled and said, "Mr. Isik, I said the wrong thing. I apologize to you. I hope you won't remember the villain."